Hey Banditos, what's up? Today we're diving into the big reveal of the Division 2 Seasons 2.0 that just dropped by Yannick and Daria in a live stream over on Twitch. In case you missed everything or you missed some details, this video is for you. We're going to be going over what's changing, what's not, and most importantly, if there's anything coming out that will blow our collective minds.
Piece of shit wristwatch.
So they laid out what we can expect for Seasons 2.0, and honestly, most of it was in line with what was in their initial plan, except for some twists here and there. More on that later. We're talking about new progression systems, the revamped season journey, and this brand new thing called modifiers. And to answer the big question first, yes, seasonal characters are no more. So they hit us with the Seasons 2.0 breakdown, and it's packed with new systems and mechanics. The big change? Well, the seasonal journey. If you thought grinding XP was all we do, guess again. This time, they've given us more structure, and yeah, you can get your hands dirty with it no matter if you're a veteran or just starting. So let's break it all down, starting with the journey. The seasonal journey is the new backbone of each season going forward. Instead of just mindlessly farming XP, now we have a structured progression system with 7 sequential missions. Each mission will have 8 objectives, and the cool part? You only need to complete 6 to move on. Perfect for those of us who like to skip the pain points. The journey starts at level 1. Yes, even new players can hop right into the current season's content. No gatekeeping here. From the start of the season, all missions unlock, so it's up to you to work through them at your own pace. As you progress, you'll earn rewards like XP, Season Pass XP, resources, progression boosters, and even active modifiers. Oh, and let's not forget the endgame reward, a unique cosmetic item. So yeah, you're gonna look good too. On to the real heart of Seasons 2.0, the seasonal modifiers. This system is set to mix up the gameplay and make each season feel different. There are 4 types of modifiers, and they all serve to spice up the rules of the game. So global modifiers, these set the theme for the season and affect the game at all times. For this season, the theme is range. So for example, the first global modifier called Point Blank gives you bonus damage based on your distance from enemies. So you're gonna wanna mind your spacing. Active modifiers, think of these as your ultimate abilities. Short bursts of power you can activate. You can only equip one at a time, but it impacts the global modifier. So for season 1, it's all about manipulating range zones for extra damage. Passive modifiers, these work with global modifiers, giving you even more bonuses based upon your range. You can equip up to 3 of these bad boys at once, making your build even more customizable. Hostile modifiers, here's where it gets fun. Or by fun, I mean challenging. As you progress, enemies will start to adapt to your new abilities. These modifiers are tied to specific enemy types, meaning you'll have to strategize with your global active and passive modifiers to counter them. You don't get to choose these. Now, if all of this sounds overwhelming, don't worry. The modifier system can be disabled at any time, and it's exclusive from global events, so you can't do both at the same time. So if you're not feeling the seasonal spice, you can turn it off and play the regular game loop. But where's the fun in that? Okay, let's talk about these priority objectives. These objectives kick in once you hit level 30 and offer more structured ways to grind out items and resources. Here's how it works. You'll get 3 objectives to choose from, each with limited info, like how long they take, what types of missions they involve, and the reward category. Once you pick one, it's locked in, and only then do you get the full details. Not a fan of your options? You can re-roll these objectives up to 3 times because sometimes RNG just isn't your friend. The best part, there's no limit to how many priority objectives you can complete. And the rewards? Oh yeah, XP, Season Pass XP, gear, and even passive modifiers. Now there's the Manhunt Scouts. They're adding a new system here that introduces weekly activities. Each week you'll have to complete a scout, which is made up of 3 different parts. The twist? You've got to solve a riddle to figure out what you need to do. So not only are we taking down bad guys, we're flexing our brains too. Once you finish the riddle-driven activities, you get a scout reward, which includes equipment, XP, materials, and collectibles. Complete all the scouts throughout the season and you'll unlock the Manhunt Climax mission. Now, if you think you're done, you're not. This one's gonna be tough. Harder than heroic. Expect even harder NPCs and challenges that'll require some serious strategy with your modifiers. And no, you won't see this on the PTS, so we're in for a surprise when it finally drops. So what do I think about Seasons 2.0? Well, I'm glad you asked. First off, I love that they're adding more structure with the seasonal journey. It's It's not just about endless grinding anymore. There's going to be a more clear path that will provide much more structure to the day-to-day play. I guess I just hope it doesn't feel like we're signing up for the same grind in different packaging. The modifiers, I'm not stoked, but I'm okay with it. Overall, I would say about everything I saw is I'm just content. Modifiers, for one, are not a brand new system in the game world. It's a little bit of been there and done that, but I do feel like they integrated it nicely into the game. The hostile modifiers are a big bummer though. I'm not a fan of giving these overly tuned, bullet spongy NPCs even more power and tricks. Why can't we just enjoy a little power fantasy? I guess it's not in the cards. And all of this feels just a little bit more like Diablo 4. We already had that comparison with seasonal characters and these modifiers. Well, I don't play Diablo 4, but as I understand it from the community feedback, that game works off of a modifier system also. The First Descendant has it, so does many other games. So I'm not looking for anything revolutionary here, and everything looks decent on the surface. But I really do hope those modifiers feel rewarding and that the whole system doesn't feel like we're being punished. So the priority objectives, well, on the surface, they sort of seemed like Projects 2.0. I hope they're more than that because I'm not liking the take on global events. So it sort of bothered me that the system sort of overrides or disregards global events. I mean, they've been a big part of our seasons, and I know they're kind of played out a little bit, but we do look forward to those. And this whole system, Seasons 2.0 with its modifiers, just feels like one big giant global event. And like global events, you can decide to turn it off, but if you do, you're basically not experiencing a good chunk of the season. So who's going to want to do that? Well, anybody that wants to enjoy the global events, because in order to take part in that, you're going to have to turn off your global activators. That's a big desync with something that the player base has been enjoying in the game. And I feel like they just haven't found a solution for it. I get that they don't want us to be overpowered and break the game, but I think the real solution is that the global events need to be reworked or integrated into the Seasons 2.0 concept better. I get why they did it, but I'm not a huge fan of how they're dripping the scouts. This unlocks on a weekly basis. It's basically a time gate. Now they're doing it because they want to give us a reason to log in even on the back half of the season, which is, as far as I know, this is still going to be a 4-month season, which sucks. But it is what it is. And so I get their intentions, but time-gated content is just never really a favorite thing. Now, currently our manhunts are time-gated, so there's that. But part of the big problem of the, I guess now, legacy season system is that people would complete the manhunt and then see you later. We wouldn't see them until the next season. Well, I think they see this time gate as a solution, but I'm not sure it is. I think what could happen is fatigue. If players don't get a good taste of the scout system in the front half of the season, then they're not going to be encouraged to experience it in the back half of the season. This requires the devs to make sure that they front load the best parts of this early on and make sure that it's a very fun and engaging experience and rewarding. That's what's most important. The juice must be worth the squeeze. The players must feel like that their time is being respected. I guess we're gonna have to see, but that's something we'll have to keep our eye on. All right, and here's the big one. First off, everything is getting rebalanced. Gear, weapons, exotics, you name it. For example, the St. Elmo AR is going from 70 to 60 rounds. Rest in peace, magazine size. That was the best part of that weapon. This is crazy and beyond a 3-day PTS, but this is what they had to say about it. So we're gonna be very busy testing all these changes when this actually releases. Oh, and they didn't tell us when that would be, by the way. You think that would have been the first thing to let us know. They also didn't cover anything about new gear and exotics. We are getting new gear and exotics, but they're limited to the patch notes, and I think we're gonna see them in the PTS. I imagine so. Also, we still got no DLC news. The question did come up during the live stream, but they quickly disregarded it, saying, we're working on it. A phrase I'm pretty sure we've heard since 2020. Oh, and the specializations revamp, still frozen in Carbonite. Guess we'll be waiting a bit longer for that one. One last thing, if you're a stash hoarder like me, keep an eye out for any potential movements on stash space. They didn't go into any actual details, but the community is hungry for more inventory, and it was a discussion, and there is some server space that can be worked for this. No promises and no time frames, but there's potential there. So although I'm not overly excited about these changes and really nervous about the rebalancing of all of our gear and cautious about the buffs to the NPCs, I am still looking forward to the season. I'm excited to have something new in the Division 2 and can't wait to experience it all and let you guys know what I think. Stay tuned for the next video where we will cover all of the PTS patch notes. Thank you for hanging out with me today. My name is Tuxedo Bandido. That's Tito Bandido.
What's crack-a-lackin'?
This was another episode of The Division 2. If you found this video helpful, subscribe, like, and turn on notifications to ensure you don't miss out on the fantastic experiences waiting for you in The Division 2. And if you like builds like this, check out the recommended build video I have here for you. If you have anything you want to see covered, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And thank you to all the channel members and donors who make everything possible. Tux Nation wouldn't be without you.
When you buy a game from Ubisoft, enter the creator code Tuxedo Bandido to support the channel. Easy peasy. Now maybe this cheapskate can afford to sign me up for that dating app I've had my eyes on.
Follow me.
I get it.